Hello and welcome everybody to Crypto Rosetta. My name is Savage and today we're going to be having a look at BNB. Before we jump into the price action, I just want to say thank you for watching. If you are enjoying the content, smash that like button, hit that subscribe button if you haven't already, turn on those bell notifications so you never miss a video. And why not leave us some feedback down below in the comment section as well. In the description below, you'll find a link to the Discord. Come check it out. We have big things happening this week. So it's free to join once in the general chat area. Just add mention member staff will be happy to help you out with anything you may need. Okay, so let's get into it. So there was a few ways we're looking at this, and we can argue a few things within this structure. For as long as we hold this 272.8 area, we can also potentially argue that we are still within a fourth wave. Because of the size of this wave 2, it is possible that we could still see this play out as a fourth wave correction here and potentially look to push up one more time for a fifth wave. So depending on exactly where we sort of complete this move, it would adjust slightly, but this could still mean that we have a move up here towards this 352 to this 378 to play out. So this is something that is still possible within the structure. Um, However, if we start to lose this fourth wave low and start to push much deeper here, it becomes less likely. This 50% range, this two uh, this 272.8. So if we start to push down below that, it would be more likely that actually we've completed into here and we're forming a separate structure to what we have marked out here. So the other way we can look at this is potentially that we actually completed into here with a triangle A, B, C, D, E into this low. Then we have a five-wave move here to complete a fifth wave. So if this is the case, we'd be expecting a deeper retracement here, potentially into the zone of the 50% range, and then we'd be looking for that potential to actually push to the upside. Alternatively, we need to just be a bit careful because we could also argue that this is a flat correction here, and that we could look to push down and actually take these lows. So it's going to be important to see how the support zones react. Like I said, it is possible we could still see that one more push to the upside for a fifth and we could actually look to push up in another five-wave structure. What we'd want to see then is breaking these highs, having clear five-wave structure here to indicate that we have that additional fifth here. Okay, so basically the ways that I'm looking at, we're going to talk about a few ways here, bearish, bullish, and some of the macro stuff that I've been having a look at this morning. Um, so basically what I'd be looking for is something like this. So if we're looking for a corrective pattern here, just as an ABC, technically speaking, we could still be in this B wave if we want to look at this as an A, and then potentially looking for a B wave to the upside and looking to continue to the downside in another C wave. So for the most part, we could, like I said, still be within the structure. And I don't know why my box has moved over here now. Let's sort that out quickly. What is going on? There we go. Okay, so effectively within this, what we'd be looking for is basically a move up into this red box zone, and that would then basically suffice for a B wave correction. But I do think we have a little bit more downside here. And the way I'm looking at this currently would be that potentially we're still in a fourth wave. And what I'd be looking for is the potential that actually this is a one, two, this is all a three. We're looking for a four and a five to the downside. So within this structure, effectively what we would be looking for is a retracement up into this zone of this 0.382. So we can see we've come up into this area and we actually moved up here. This would be this 2950, and then the 50% would be this 298.8. If we remain below this, now it is also possible this fourth wave could become a little bit more complex, and what we could get is basically a move where this is either, I mean, it is possible it could be a triangle A, B, C, D, E completed, and then we start to break down. Alternatively, we could look for another push to the upside here, where we get this as an A, we come back down for a B wave, and then we push up one more time for a C wave. So if we do push up one more time, this 298.8 will be an interesting zone to see how we react in this area and then to see if we actually do get another push to the downside. So off of our current area, the target zone for this as a as a fifth wave would be down here. I'm going to remove this fib. Let's remove that one. let's just do this again. So the zone would actually be down here at this 280 dollars to this 275. You know, if we do push up higher though towards that 50%, then this could potentially push us target zone down lower here towards this 279 to this 277, 273.3. So this is still something that can play out. We could still see this fourth wave to the upside. Um, Still in play here, and we could then look to progress to the downside. Effectively, invalidation of this would come by crossing back above this low point of this 3608. If we move back above that zone, we would invalidate the idea of this fourth and fifth here, and we'd have to then argue that potentially we completed somewhere into there where this would have been a third, fourth, and fifth, and or yeah, pretty much we'd have to count this 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, or this would be looking to extend, where this becomes an additional 1 and a 2, and then looks to break down. But I mean, there's nothing that would just be guesswork at this point. But effectively, what I'm looking for is the potential to come back up here for a B wave. So, like I said, it is possible we've got a little bit more downside here. Then we'd be looking to see if we have this B wave to the upside. So this B wave rejection zone would actually be this 325 to this 308.7. That would be off of our current area. So, you know, if we do move up here again, I'd be careful of this. This 50% actually sits right on the center line of this channel that I've got drawn here. So this could be something that plays out where we actually look for this deeper retracement. So that would be looking for evidence that we're actually coming back down deeper into this box area that we talked about as a support zone, this 272.6 to this 241.1. So, you know, this is something we just got to keep a little bit of an eye on. If we do move down into this B wave location, then we could argue we could be setting up for a push to the upside again for a C wave. However, we also need to be careful within the structure because potentially we can count this as a flat over here, and then we could look to break down. So there are a few options with this. So yeah, we just need to be a bit mindful of that. And something like this would be what I would be looking out for. The potential that either we have this as a ABC, and then we're looking to complete to the upside, or we, like I said, we could potentially count this as a flat, but this becomes an A, this is a B, and this is a C. In which case, we would still be looking for that C wave down or a third wave down. Third wave confirmation would come by crossing this 169.6, and then we'd be potentially looking for this fourth wave to the upside, which could then effectively push us down towards this 158.7 to this 143.5. So this is still a possibility. There's not enough evidence yet to say that we are within this structure. What we'd want to see is a good five-wave move, and basically this move to the downside. We need to be a bit careful because we can count this as a five-wave structure where this becomes a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 as a diagonal. Obviously, like I said, there's still a potential we could got a little bit lower to come in this fifth wave here. But if that's the case, what we could then see is a three-wave retracement to the upside, potentially looking to retest some of these zones here, and then actually looking to break to the downside. So if this is a leading diagonal here, if it would mean that it's either an A wave or wave one. So if it's an A wave, what we could then be looking for is that possibility, like I said, of this becoming an A, this becoming a B, and then we look down, push down for that C wave. Or alternatively, this could then become a 1, 2, and then we could actually look to push down for this third wave. So we need to be careful. If we do see some extensions going on here, which we will talk about as well now, there is potential to count this rather with extensions in here, where we have a 1, 2, 1, 2, and then potentially this is now starting to break down deeper. So we're going to go over that no, pretty much. Okay, so the idea of the extensions is that we could actually still see something like this play out, where instead of having this as a diagonal in this position, we can argue that we've had a 1, 2 and a 1, 2. And then effectively we could be looking to either form this wave 3 if we push down towards this 270.3 area, or alternatively, we could be looking to form an additional 1, 2. So this could tie into the idea of having a bigger, deeper third wave here. This series of 1, 2s would give us that deeper push. Uh, but effectively, what we would want to see is like if we're looking for this bearish scenario, we'd want to hold these wave 2 tops. So this 321 and over here at this 335.8. We want to hold these and we'd want to see this progression to the downside start to unfold here. So if this does extend down and we actually cross this 370, what I'd then be looking for would be further evidence that we have this fourth wave going to play out, and that would be looking for this move to come back up here, depending on where exactly we complete. If this does break down, we could argue that we could see a move back up into this zone here, this 288.7 to this 294.6, and then look for that progression to the downside again. So if we did have to come back up here into this 50% zone, effectively, what we'd be looking for then is potential to continue to the downside, and that target zone for this secondary fifth would actually be this 264.5 to this 255.9. So, this is something that could play out, and we could actually see these progressions to the downside and start to find these deeper moves unfolding. If we do get this deeper five-wave structure here, we'd have to be careful, like I said, because it could be the fact that basically we are either looking at an A, a B, and a C to the downside, which the one-to-one target of this would effectively be, let's get it onto this high, this 220. So that would be looking to actually form a double bottom here. Or alternatively, like I said, this could then become that bigger five-wave structure where if we are extending out like this could then become a bigger wave one, two. We'd look for that retracement again to the upside. So we'd look for something like this effectively. Um, and then look to break down deeper. So, there is a bearish possibility here. We need to just be careful within the wave counts and see how they react. Moving back above this zone here of this 337.8, that would invalidate this potential for looking to break to the downside here. And like I said, we do have that potential option to push up one more time as a B wave or looking for a bigger trending move to the upside. So there's two ways that we can really look. Well, there's a few ways that we can really look at this. So we need to just give it a bit of time. And one thing that I haven't sort of written off that we did talk about quite a while back is the potential that we could even be forming a triangle here, where this becomes an A, B, and a C. This becomes a B wave. This is now in the middle of a C wave. We get a D wave and then we get an E wave in here, something like this. So this is still a possibility. Within the structure, it could still play out like this, where we just actually remain range bound within these zones, and we just move up and down. Though we would only get confirmation on that D wave. So effectively, if we were looking at this, like I said, as a triangle, we'd have to look at this potentially still being in the C wave, and then looking for this D and E. Moving above 398.3 would invalidate the potential of a triangle, and moving below this B wave low that we have here as well would also invalidate this as we are looking at it. So if we moved below this zone here, this 220 zone, it would invalidate the possibility of this triangle. So yeah, there's a few things we need to keep an eye on here. If we just get a three-wave move, it could be in a C wave. Alternatively, we could actually be just looking to form an A, a B, and then we break down for another C wave as well. So it's very hard to read at the moment because all we have is corrective moves here, which should indicate that we're going lower. But the thing is, I want to just talk about on the macro side. So we were talking about, let's go into the daily here. So I'm currently looking at it within this channel. I mean, we can adjust this slightly. Um, you can move this around to the bodies or whatever, but for the most part, I'm just using it to keep sort of track. And so there was two ways that we were currently looking. We're looking at this as a B wave. So if we do actually form a triangle here, this could still fit into this narrative of looking at this as an A, a B, and then a C. Alternatively, we could just get a three-way move to the downside where, like I said, we'd look at this potentially as an A, we come up for a B wave, and then we just look to push down for a C wave. So if it's an ABC, we'd want to see five-wave structure, but it could be a WXY, in which case we'll just get three-wave moves. it is also possible that we could just form a triangle here because potentially we're looking for this fourth wave. So, it is possible this could just form as a triangle where this becomes an A, B, C, we form a D, we come back down for an E, and actually then we look to push to the upside for this fifth wave. So, we've got to be a little bit cautious about this. Taking out some of these lows or these highs would invalidate this triangle option. But there is still that potential to push down deeper here. So, this 1 to 1 would come back down to here, this 106 point, this 110.6. And I just want to turn this other one. The other thing that I was looking at is so the typical fourth wave zone is basically this 116 to this 63.5. So that would be a 50% retracement effectively from that high point there. But what I'm just being a little bit cautious of is if we throw this on, we can see here that within this range, once we start to lose this zone here, we do have a little bit more support here at this 127 area, but there's not a lot of volume within this area that's been traded. So, if we do start to lose some of these key areas, it could be possible that we actually see quite a quick sharp drop down into some of these other lower areas where we've got more volume that's been traded previously. So this is just something that we could see play out. There is also, however, a bit of liquidity above us, so it wouldn't surprise me if we do move up here. And the thing is, like I said, we're looking for the potential of this being a fourth wave. So we can play around with this third a little bit. We can have it either here or here. We could depends how you want to count the subwaves before it. But if it is into this position, it is also possible, like I said, we could see a push up here in a bigger A, B, C, or even at 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. If we did get a five-wave move, this could actually just complete an X wave, and we could look to still break down. So really, until we actually take this high of the 670.5, we can argue that within the structure here, we could still see something like this play out, where we come back down here for this B wave, and then we actually look to push up one more time for this C wave to the upside. And what we'd be looking for effectively is a possibility to come up and just get onto this high. 1 to 1 would be this 477, and then obviously the higher ranges here would be this 1236 to this 1618. If we cross this 1618, though, we'd have to start potentially looking for the idea that this is a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and then we actually already within this fifth wave move here. So, it is something we just got to be a bit careful with here. We are looking for a fourth wave still, so it can be a triangle, it can be pretty much anything it wants to be. So the only thing I wouldn't say that it would be is a zigzag because the wave two was quite simple. So basically, what I'm looking for here is a more complex move. So this could become a W, an X, and then we push down for a Y, and this just grinds. Or alternatively, we get this as an A, this is a B, and then we're looking to push down for that C wave. So this is the ideal zone, but potentially we could look to just come back and to retest this channel, and that would potentially be able to move us down deep enough to this zone here. If it is a triangle, though, we've already come down to this 236, so we just need to give this a bit of space because we could also argue that from further back, we can look at this potentially as an A. This is a B, C. We form a D wave, an E wave, and then we look to push up from there, and we actually have a fourth wave in this location. So, there's a couple of ways of looking at this structure. We need to see how these confirm. If we start to break down, take some of these lows or push up higher than this point, it would invalidate this potential for the triangle, and then we can just carry on with the moves that we're tracking. But we just need to be careful. If we do start to break down, though, deeper here, and we do lose this 50% range at the 63.3, this 0.618 would be an interesting zone. It would, however, invalidate the idea of looking at this as a fourth wave. So I wouldn't really want to see it come down this deep if it is going to be looking for this potential as a fourth wave. The only way that it could do that is potentially then looking for a diagonal pattern here. But pretty much we'd want to see it stay above this 50% range here. So I mean it is still possible we do get an additional leg to the downside here. It just depends on how deep this goes, whether we actually push down and invalidate, in which case we would have to be on the lookout if we do push out deeper towards that 618 area, or even as low as this sort of 786. We'd have to be arguing that either this is just an ABC pattern, so just a three-wave move followed by a three-wave decline, and then potentially looking to push up for another three-wave move, or alternatively, this becomes a 1-2, this becomes a 1-2, and then we're actually looking to push up for bigger impulsive structure. Okay, so I'm going to leave the video there. I hope you found it useful. If you did, please smash that like button, hit that subscribe button if you haven't already, turn on those bell notifications so you never miss a video. Why not leave us some feedback down below as well so that you are kept up to date with all the latest content. In the description below, you'll find a link to the Discord. Come check it out. It is free to join. Once you're in the general chat area, just mention a member. Staff will be happy to help you out with anything you may need. In the description as well, you'll find affiliate links for both PrimeXBT and BYBIT, both great exchanges that we use on a regular basis. Check them out. If you don't have an account, using the affiliate link does help support the channel, and we do appreciate it. Everyone, I hope you have a great day. We'll see you in the next one.